If you're looking for the latest in hotel, restaurant, and retail technology, stay tuned right here to Tech Advisor Media. Hi, Rob Grimes with Tech Advisor Media, and I'm standing here in the Splickit booth at the National Restaurant Show, and I'm with Anke Corbin, who's the Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing. So welcome
Yes, absolutely,
like that, right?
Welcome.
So tell us a little bit about Splickit.
All right, Splickit is a SaaS platform, and we power a number of restaurant brands for their mobile ordering and payment and in-app and in-web loyalty, and then this really awesome sophisticated marketing suite so you can communicate and grow your customer base.
Okay, but you're announcing something new here.
Yes.
I think you did it today, maybe.
We did,
right?
we did this morning.
So what did we announce today?
Okay, this morning we announced that we took Bluetooth technology and wrote software against that to enable geo-triggered ordering and geo-triggered marketing for our platform. So
Can you say that like 10 times?
Probably.
Okay.
Not very well, maybe.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
So you're doing. So why don't you tell us what geo-triggered? See, I can't say it once, right? Geo-triggered marketing and ordering actually is. What's the implication on a food service operation?
Absolutely. So let me tell you a story. So a lot of coffee shops and restaurants that have hot foods are a little hesitant to have order ahead, pay ahead, just in case the customer doesn't make it in time and the mocha latte is no longer warm or hot, right? That's not a great experience for them. What we've talked to them about, and they've been wondering, how do we solve that problem? And a beacon is this wonderful Bluetooth mechanism that you put inside of the store that can communicate with their phone. And it has this 150-foot radius around the restaurant location that you can then set up so that as soon as the customer goes into that perimeter, it triggers the order instead of maybe 2-3 blocks away, they can't get parking, that sort of thing.
Could they have placed the order in advance and then it triggers it to go ahead and be prepped and paid for as well?
And paid, well, so in advance it's all set up, but then the perimeter triggers the order. So yes, you walk in and then it does a confirmation, your order has been sent, have a seat, and your coffee will be right up. So there's a nice message and a response mechanism. That's the ordering part of it. And then on the marketing side, you have something similar in that you can then geo-trigger marketing. So imagine again in malls or airports or areas where there's just a dense area of people where you have someone's app or a couple of places app, you're walking by, it allows you to kind of impact them right in where they are and say, hey, we noticed you're nearby, why don't you come on over and
But they have to opt in or they have to be part of your application?
That's right. So they have to be a part of the application as well as opt into messages, just like push notifications today, where you opt in, we want to geolocate you and then we want to be able to communicate with you.
Do you think that, Splickit, I guess, is selling one-to-one to the restaurant operator? Is that how that's working?
Yes.
So do you envision also Splickit maybe working with some associations or groups or convention and visitors bureau where they're all opting in instead of just one-to-one in a specific area or customer?
Well, so we have a relationship with No Kid Hungry, and it's a similar idea in that we want to try to get really the industry to embrace this app so that every time someone orders and pays on the app, they have this opportunity to round up to the nearest dollar and also contribute additional funds to the charity. And that would be not limited at all to having one restaurant. You could hopefully have, tens of thousands of restaurants doing that.
But in that case, with the tens of thousands, would the person have opted in to No Kid Hungry, or would they have opted in, or would they have had to opt in to each individual restaurant?
They would opt into No Kid Hungry. So as long as that app is on there. So they get the extended audience. Yes, they do. And they can communicate to any of those locations then, or even the larger chains. If you think about a Jersey Mike's, for example, or a Moe's, those hundreds of restaurants, there's quite a few of them. And so maybe you're traveling, you can say, hey, looks like, again, you're nearby, and maybe you just were driving through, and you can have some sort of a message from those restaurants to entice you to come there. Great for road warriors.
But really, the ideal situation is to get some sort of group to buy into this so that you get the added benefit of getting to all of the individual operations within the group.
I think consumers would really like that. I think they would always benefit from more of an aggregator, and there are definitely great companies that do that. But brands also want their own audience too, right? I think that's very important to them, to have their name, to have their customer, to market directly to that customer, not necessarily as a part of a larger organization. But the consumer, I think, would always appreciate having more restaurant choices.
So I get it. I see how No Kid Hungry is doing something good for the industry. People recognize that as an industry initiative. What about teaming up with somebody like an Open Table or somebody like that has a customer base? Is that also on your roadmap and game plan?
We have been looking at brands such as maybe companies that have kind of a large network of people, and then looking at all the different restaurants. We have a small, what we call an aggregator app that is called Yum Ticket, where all of our Splickit customers are on there. And we have talked to some of the other companies about partnering
Does that
and
mean
building
that they
this.
share?
Yes, they're all on the same app.
So it's Yum Ticket, and what you're saying is that the various Splickit customers are now sharing in a master database, and they're okay with that?
Yes, they are, because all we're doing is driving an additional customer
to them. Are there customers who then sit there and say that they don't want to share? They don't want to play in the little sandbox?
So we actually haven't had anyone say that, but they do have the choice to do that. We always invite them, because really I don't think brands care where a customer comes from typically. Now they will always want to convert them over to their branded app, just because they can do more marketing that way and they'll know more about that customer. But for the most part, I think most restaurants are happy to receive a customer from a lot of different sources, right? It's the difference between customer acquisition and really nurturing and kind of building that brand relationship. Very different, but both very valuable.
I get it. I see how this was the next progression. So what's the next thing after that? Is there something on your roadmap you want to share with us?
Sure. There's two things that are really important to us. One is group ordering is a really big deal. A lot of our restaurants are asking for that, and not just the kind of simple, but really where you can have multiple credit cards and solving that pain point of you've got the large company and 20 people are going in for lunch and no one really wants to be the one doing all the work.
I think that Panera 2.0 is sort of leading the way on getting market awareness on group ordering, individual ordering, catering, things like that as well. So that's going to get a lot more customers wanting to do those types of things.
Yeah. And the other thing is we have what we call a plug and play technology, because we don't do everything, right? We have an amazing ordering and payment technology, but we do partner with other companies to bring in all the other things, because there's the stored value cards that are important.
And you partner with the POS companies as well.
We partner with the POS companies. We partner with the in-store loyalty companies. We are building, the other thing that's really important to us is we're building this really great API to allow anyone, they can use our platform or they can design and use their own and just plug us in on the back end. So those are kind of our two, what I'd call near-term initiatives.
So let me ask you this. Have you had a chance to walk around the show at all?
Just started.
Just started. So you're looking at things ahead of time, you're looking at the show, you're walking around a little bit. Is there anything that's sort of the wow factor that caught you off guard, that you're sitting here saying this is a cool thing? Besides Splickit?
So I haven't gone past this. I mean, I'm a techie, so I really want to see what everyone's doing. And I think for the most part, I think we're pretty familiar with what's going on, and I love where technology is pushing. But I think that some of the innovation that's happening is really on the restaurant side, right? It's on the production side. It's those amazing fast pizza ovens.
So that's technology too.
It's absolutely technology. It's very different.
It's a very different kind of technology. But and we're probably going to start to see the integration of those technologies with the ordering technologies, the production technologies.
I had a customer, or a prospect, I should say, call the other day, and he walked me through this amazing scenario of what he's looking for, and it really does touch everything, right? It touches the server, it touches the back end ordering, fulfillment, volume
is this
calculator.
An idea, or is this something
this is
reality?
What he's hoping to build, and while I don't think there's any one company that solves that
there
today,
are parts and pieces.
You have to put the pieces together, and I think that because we've got this, what I call that plug and play technology, I think we can do it seamless with one login, one user experience, seamless, so that the user doesn't feel like they're bouncing in and out of strange apps, that sort of thing. And I think that's the goal. I don't know that there's a category killer today.
Right, and you'll see yourself as part of that overall.
I see us as being a really great technology support, kind of the infrastructure, if you will, which is great, kind of the back end. So.
Well, listen, thank you for inviting me into your space today, and
thank you very
we're
much for
glad
coming.
to have this time to learn more about Splickit. So
I
thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Great. This is Rob Grimes for Tech Advisor Media, and thank you for joining us in Splickit today.
Thanks, everyone.